I stood on a stage, accepting a Lifetime Achievement Award on national television, and I used my speech to expose my parents to millions of viewers. For 27 years, they treated me like a ghost while worshiping my younger brother. But that night, they had no choice but to watch me burn their perfect family image to the ground. My brother Marcus was the golden child. He could sneeze, and my parents would throw a parade. I worked my ass off, paid my own way through college, and barely got a nod. Once I saved up for months to buy my dad a nice watch for Christmas. He smiled, said thanks, and set it aside. 10 minutes later, Marcus handed him a cheap gas station keychain. My dad laughed, clipped it to his keys, and called it special. That was my life. I was the background character, quietly taking the hits. I even came home once to find my graduation photo missing from the mantle. My mom had stuffed it in a junk drawer. She needed the space for Marcus's participation trophies. Everything snapped when I got nominated for a massive industry award. It was the biggest moment of my career. I swallowed my pride and texted our family group chat. I begged them to come. Marcus replied instantly, "We're going to a concert instead." My mom chimed in right after, "Don't guilt us." She acted like supporting her oldest son was a toxic burden. Later that night, Marcus sent a selfie from the concert holding a beer. My dad replied, "Enjoy it. You deserve it." That word echoed in my head. Deserve. I went to that first ceremony alone. I won. I walked back into my empty apartment, looked at the group chat praising Marcus's random night out, and realized something broken inside me. I was done begging for scraps. Over the next year, my career exploded. I landed magazine interviews, podcasts, and major partnerships. I built an empire in total silence. My parents had no idea. They still thought I was the same invisible loser. My dad only called to ask if I could pay Marcus's rent. I simply said no. I stopped explaining myself. I let the silence hang. Then, the ultimate setup fell into my lap. I was invited to a massive national gala. They were giving me a special recognition award. The broadcast was airing live across the entire country. I didn't tell my family a single thing. I just let them flip through the channels on a random evening, let them find out exactly like the rest of the world. The night arrived. The venue was blinding with camera flashes. The announcer called my name. I walked onto the stage. The heavy lights beamed down on me. The camera zoomed in close. The massive auditorium went dead silent. I gripped the heavy trophy in my hands. I leaned into the microphone. My voice was completely steady. "I grew up in a family where attention was selective," I said, "where achievements were dismissed." I didn't yell. I kept my tone perfectly calm. I thought invisibility was my fate. I paused. I let the weight of the words hang in the air. "But to anyone who has been overlooked, your moment will come." The crowd erupted. Thousands of people rose to their feet. Millions of people clapped for me through their screens. Back home, my parents were finally watching. My phone blew up immediately. Mentors and strangers sent paragraphs of praise. Then, the family group chat lit up. My mom texted first. "Why didn't you tell us it was a big event?" No apology. Just pure deflection. Then my dad texted, "You made us sound like terrible parents on live TV." Marcus was the last to speak. "Wow, bro. Dramatic much? It's not that deep." I stared at the glowing screen. I didn't feel angry anymore. I typed 3 separate messages. I hit reply to my mom. "I spent years begging to be noticed. You had your chance." I hit reply to my dad. "People will think you were terrible parents because you were." I hit reply to Marcus. "It was that deep. You just never had to feel it." I hit send. I muted the chat forever. I set my phone down on the glass table. I poured myself a drink. They spent their whole lives trying to keep me stuffed inside a drawer. Now, they live in my shadow.